Today we are backstage at Salon International. Well, I say backstage, we're actually in the press office, so it's a perfect opportunity to grab a few people that are here at the Salon International, one of the biggest dates in the hairdressing calendar. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go into the main hall, we're going to grab a few well-known faces and maybe some not well-known faces, and we're going to come on and bring them on to the podcast as well as the hair show, so you can learn a little bit more about what's going on for them on a Salon International 2019 weekend. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome along to the press room here at Salon International, and I am so made up to bring into the room Ken Picton, renowned superstar hairdresser here in the UK and now president. So how's the weekend sort of just starting out? Here we are on a Saturday.
Well, yeah, thank you, Dom, and it's obviously a pleasure to see you guys too. I'm really impressed with your kit, by the way. That's
thank you.
You know, I come with scissors, you come with this great big kit. That's amazing.
Well, honestly, I've just packed up the case. So look, I mean, we're here today, Salon International, a Saturday. We're sat here in the press room. We just came down to the fellowship stage and we said, look, it's Ken about. Yeah. And out he came, always so giving. So how's it been? Obviously, firstly, the president.
Yeah, it was, you know, prior to the president, I was the chancellor, which I loved that role because it was all about working with all the young projects that we do, Fame Team and the processes, and we made lots of changes to that. So it just became an evolution to become the president. And it's great. I'm loving it. I'm kind of 7 months in already, and it's flying by. And obviously, to come to Salon, and we have such a prolific stage here. We have the live lounge, so I'm the host for the 3 days.
This live lounge. Yeah. It's just mega.
It's great. How
did that come about? And tell us how this works.
Well, it was kind of. The live lounge, I guess the concept is not massively unique, but it was born with the fact that we've come to all these events and we wanted to start streaming it to the outside world. I think, you know, back 3 years ago, we identified at the fellowship that, you know, offline we had a great presence in the industry, but actually online we didn't, and we really needed to start talking outside. We used to always talk to inside, and the live lounge was that opportunity. We have the greatest hairdressers, as you've spoken to and interviewed many of them, and this was to reach out to the outer hairdressing industry globally, and that's where it was born. And it's amazing. And now, like every event organizer, like, are you bringing the live lounge? Are you bringing the live lounge? And
it's always guaranteed that the fellowship stage is always packed.
Yeah.
Why is it so popular?
Do you know what? I think the fellowship is about giving opportunity, and they're probably the best at doing it. You know, lots of brands try and do it, but really, you know, this is a unique opportunity for our members and our sponsors, basically. We always produce one of the best stages. It's constant. And do you know the most amazing thing is all these hairdressers do it for nothing. That's the bit that just...
And I had a conversation in a previous podcast with Sean Dawson. He said so much of what we do we give for free. So why are we happy to do that? Why are we happy to come here to London, get on stage, get your model? Why are we happy to do that for free?
I think, you know, look, we're naturally givers. We share. It's a natural thing that we do, and I think if it becomes a bit more of a bigger stage, in the sense that that's the biggest stage, I mean we're talking to a bigger audience, I think that's what entices people in as members, because, you know, I can pretty much guarantee every single person who's on our fellowship stage, if they were asked to come to Salon for a brand, they'd be like, what's the budget? You know, however, it's never a question for us.
That's really keen for people to learn, isn't it? And a lot of your members, as you say, so what would they have to do in terms of they're going to present on stage, so what you're saying, they've got to source their own models? Yeah,
absolutely. There's no budgets for anybody. I mean, to give you an idea, while we're up here now, there is a Chinese art team that have flown over, especially to come on. They're international members of the fellowship, and they've come here especially to come on our stage today.
International members as well?
Absolutely, yeah. We have several international. We have quite a lot of Australian members, and they have a slightly different rate. And I think that's the idea. We're about to launch the Knowledge, or it's launching this weekend, which is our third pillar of opportunity. It's all about our digital platform. Wow. It's really exciting.
Can you share any more?
I can share with you that it's kind of it's being launched next Wednesday.
So
it goes
when
live on the
live,
site. It's exclusive to the members at this current minute. It's a login system onto our website, and behind is documentaries, step by steps, interviews with some of the greatest hairdressers. It's pretty special. Special. And basically it is a platform for us to talk to international people as well. And as you've probably identified with the podcast now, people they don't always want to go to events. They're actually happy to go online and learn or be inspired. I think the inspiring part of hairdressing is now gone online, and we have to adapt for it. So it is exciting.
Seem to be doing that pretty well, don't they? They seem to be really adapting to the digital age.
Yes, I think.
Where's that coming from?
Well, basically, it was a strategy that we all sat down on a 3-year strategy and a 5-year plan. And that was the key thing. I started with regards to relaunching the website. We have to make sure that our social media presence was correct. We were opening it out. And I think last year we made a major road in where we put our Image of the Year award, and it went online instead. It went through social media and Instagram. And what happened is people started tagging their work, fellowship image. And suddenly we were starting to engage with a lot more people. Yeah, and, it's just growing from that point of view. And the knowledge has been, Joe Martin is the project manager for a project leader.
Some good team.
Yeah, and Clive Silver from CS Media has been doing it. And, I've been privy to some of the stuff, and it's fabulous.
I was just saying to Carol downstairs, and Carol, by the way, listeners and viewers, can't forget we're on.
Yeah.
That Carol's really behind the scenes, isn't she?
Yeah.
With the fellowship, but it's something that I feel I need to get part of, and I've been part of hairdressing now for 33 years.
Yeah,
I've never ever joined the fellowship.
Yeah,
and why? Just really because I appreciate your time. So why do we need to be part of this? Why should I be part of this? Why should we all be part of it?
Yeah, I think that we all should be part of it because we have a social responsibility in our own industry to collaborate and work together and share our ideas for the benefit of our industry. It is unique. Whilst we're all talking about online, we can never take away that skill that we have, and it's a bit special, and it's what makes our industry special. Yeah. The fellowship, it's an institution that's been around for a long time.
Well, I had the pleasure. Andrew Collins was telling me his dad went to college.
Absolutely, yeah. And some of the greatest hairdressers have gone through some of the greatest hairdressers now have gone through the FAME team process.
Amazing.
It is about an opportunity and a platform. So I think whichever place we do, and I also think, back in the day when I joined 25 years ago, I joined because I thought I had to,
No, I get that.
And I think we're getting that back again. Suddenly the buzz is there, we're record sponsorship, and, it's because we're giving back to our members, and that's the priority.
I'm just going to finish on, because I appreciate time. I keep saying time. It's always, once you get going into this,
exactly.
You never want to stop, do you? It's always very good. So we'll have to have our hour show. Sponsorship. For people, they'll probably think, well, why does it have to be sponsored?
Yeah, well, I think the reality is the sponsorship is it kind of gives, it's the backbone. It allows us to give more. But what's great about the sponsorship is we're not brand specific, and that's why sponsors all want to be part. It connects in a way that, it's like any kind of thing. Those sponsors, when they're out in the real world, are competitors. But what happens is when they become part of the fellowship, they become one. And I think that's what makes it unique, because they want to share as well, and they want to help us, and we want to help them. So I think it's the pillar of what we do to make us relevant, staying ahead of the game, which is what
big shout out to the fellowship, and we'll put all the links in there, and maybe the digital
absolutely
after. So again, for the listeners and the viewers, we'll put all the links in.
So do you want me to go and get you the membership form now?
Go and get me the membership form. There we are, on it. I would definitely be signing
perfect. We love you as part of it.
I would love to be
you're a great ambassador to the industry.
Thank you.
We all love what you do, and
thank you.
And many of the people you're interviewing are our members too.
Amazing. And how good to finally talk to you. So we are going to, listeners, we're going to have our specialist standalone episode.
Yeah, I love that.
Very soon, and I can see why. But thank you. Where are you up to now? Back to the stage?
Back to the stage.
Okay, so I'm delighted to welcome onto the How to Cut It podcast, David and Alexis from Pulp, Riot.
Dom, it's great to be here.
Hey guys, it's good.
We're excited.
So, and we were dead excited because me and Dan, we just said, look, let's go and have a wander around the floor and let's find some exciting people to see. And then I saw you on the stage and then I saw you to the side. So really chuffed to have you come into the studio. So why are you over here? Why you picked Salon International to come to?
Well, it's interesting. We were supposed to be here last year, and we had distribution lined up, and it fell through, so we didn't come. This year, we're here because we have 4 brilliant distributors who are distributing Pulp Riot. There's Alan Howard and Aston and Fincher and Salons Direct and Capital Beauty, all distributing our products. So why are we here? To make some noise, to let people know about our brand, and to form these powerful relationships with these people who are, using our product line. We're always say we're not a business transaction, we're a relationship.
So, and you guys are a relationship, am I right in saying that?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we happen to be married
Okay.
and business partners, and she's also my hairstylist.
Yes.
And hey, looking good.
Yeah.
Hair show, you can see that. Listeners, you can't. So, I mean, in terms of like the brand, I mean, we could do, in fact, I'm going to organise this. We're going to have a proper hour show with you two because I think that would be really good.
Be an
But just
honour.
very loosely, where's it come from?
Yeah.
Where did you come from? It's like you suddenly have landed here in the UK.
Well, we really came from the beauty community. We like to think of the beauty community as all the hairstylists and salon owners out there, and the beauty industry from top down is more of like all the corporations and companies. And we started by creating our salon in Los Angeles called Butterfly Loft. We started there, and then we created an independent education company called Butterfly Circus. And then from there, we developed Pulp Riot. So we started with education before we even developed a product.
And the reason why we're able to grow so quickly across the world is because of our phones.
Really?
No, honestly,
Very true.
these days with a
Yeah.
little bit
That
of
is
talent
bonkers.
and a cell phone, you can disrupt an industry, and that's what we've done. Through social media, we've been able to reach to all 4 corners of the world and build a tribe, build this community who think of us as their brand. So when we talk about the Riot, that's what we're doing to the industry, it's our Riot, like inclusive instead of this exclusive thing that it's Alexis and my Riot.
And because of social media, people know about Pulp Riot, know about us before we even land in that country.
Yeah.
So, for example, we went to Australia and everybody knew who Pulp Riot was when we were there. Coming to here, the UK, people know Pulp Riot before most people have even used it.
So, and that's really interesting, actually, you say about your phones. And I kind of get that a little bit about podcasting as well. I kind of effectively, my phone, you could have a story. I mean, you created a story. I mean, what was that story? So there you...
This has disrupted every
So Alexis has just got her
industry.
phone up in front of us. And it has
Yes.
disrupted the industry, hasn't it?
Well, hairstylists now could book their own appointments with their phone, right?
Yep.
They can market themselves with their phone. They could run credit cards with their phone. They've become so independent, and hair product companies can now market across the world. Every time we release a new product, all we do is push a button. Immediately, a video is seen by 800,000 people, stylists across the globe. It's really an amazing time to be a hairstylist.
Yeah.
And how have you built your tribe?
Extremely authentically. We've grown organically. I think one of the biggest things about Pulp Riot is that we're very authentic. It's a lot of times companies say buy stylists for stylists, but with us, it's like it's so authentic, and the reason it is because we post it all the time. We show working on things. You show us at the lab. It's like there's no like hidden curtain. It's like everything is out and exposed. I think also what we do is we entertain. We're not just showing videos of the product. It's very entertaining. We have really great free education. We have a website called tv.pulprighthair.com. Anybody can go on it and get education with their phone in a matter of moments.
There's a snippet here. I've just got the title, With the Phone. That is it.
Exactly.
It is, isn't it? And when you talk about the tribe, and I love this in our industry, and I can really sense it now, we're really going tribal, aren't we?
Yes.
We're getting our communities. Is there a tribe that particularly describes your tribe? Are there people that are particularly drawn to your brand?
I think Well, early on, we were these direct dye, vivid colors, those purples, blues, and greens. And so we attracted really a counterculture. We attracted the misfits. And there's a lot of us in this industry, by the way. But ever since then, we've been launching products designed to hit a much broader market, like permanent color and lighteners and developers. And we noticed our tribes becoming more expansive. But what's really interesting is they all play along well together. We just came from Mexico, where we brought our tribe together. We brought 95 hairstylists to an all-inclusive resort in Mexico. So cool. Not one person was arrested, and nobody died.
Damn.
But yeah,
and all I can see is Riot Squad around your neck. I'm thinking arrests. I'm thinking a whole lot going on.
Well, what that allowed them to do is to really connect. So when you think about us, we're not really a product company. What we aspire to do is connect the beauty community across the globe through digital, but also by visiting. So in the UK, for example, we designed what we call the Riot Squad. And it's a collection of these really great hairstylists who are teaching how to be wonderful educators and connected them together. They didn't know each other before, but now they're like best friends. And today, on stage, we're working directly with these UK artists, and we're empowering them to get this exposure and to get this experience.
Yes.
How did you pick them, by the way? I mean, was it...
Honestly, it was organic as well. It's just kind of finding people who love your brand. We don't pay people to post. You know, most times people, when they do that, you can tell. We create win-win opportunities. We create opportunities for them to earn money. So they're here, they're teaching, they're earning money while they're here. So it's not like, you know, just like a paid advertisement.
It's not social media influencing.
Exactly.
Which I think is already kind of peaked and gone down the other end. We're creating opportunities for people to have amazing exposure, amazing opportunities, and through that to earn money. I think that's what I think it's a little more nobler goal.
Yeah.
I could talk for hours on this, and I wish, but when we finish this, I'm going to arrange.
It's another conversation.
We're going to have a full hour, but I do want to.
You know what, though, we could talk through our phones.
Hey, we will definitely talk through our phones. But if you are just going to be saying to anybody, what can we expect from you guys over the next year or so? Are you evolving all the time?
Absolutely. You have to constantly, you know, when you have a great idea, when you do something, there's always going to be the copycats. And so we're constantly evolving.
Oh, them copycats.
Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, it's more flattery than anything, because we're not looking at what other people are doing. We're literally so focused and laser focused on what we want to do that we're not reactive. We're just more like powering through. But we have a lot of really exciting things. So we're constantly creating new products to reach a broader market, as David said. So we have our semi-permanents, our lighteners, our toners, our permanent color, which has just officially launched here in the UK.
Are you actually launching it this weekend?
That's it. This is the debut of Factionate, our permanent color, 80 shades.
And how's that going down at the moment? I mean, we're quite early into this already.
Early into
we have a lot of work to do, but
nothing's
nothing's easy. You figure it out and you work with the right people and the right distributors. We have no doubt that it's going to disrupt the industry once again over here. And like Alexis said, you know, we did disrupt the industry, and now we're going about the business of disrupting ourselves.
You enjoy
over and
disrupting
over again.
it?
Oh my God, that's where you want to be.
I get the impression you're enjoying your disruption.
Disruptors better than disrupted. We enjoy the side that we're on right now.
Okay, and just from a point of view of British hairdressing, you're here in the UK. I've got to finish it on.
Sure.
What's your take on the UK hair scene?
Oh, the UK, we feel like, is the most closely knit to the US. You know, we travel so much, and a lot of times stylists will say, or people will say, like, how are the artists different in this country? How are they like in this country? And you know what? Really, the thing is they're very similar. All artists, they love creativity. They love to express themselves. And I don't feel like there's a lot of differences other than, you know, we just have different accents.
Yeah, Alexis and I do travel the world. And we always feel out of our element until we arrive at the show, and we're surrounded by our people, which is a hairstylist. And each time it's the same. We're worldwide, I think inside we're all the same.
And I guess also, again, here I go, I'm going off in it, but who cares? UK, I think, is very geared towards the vibrancy. Yeah. We like a bit of edgy.
Yes.
are you finding that difference around the world is different in trends, takes? You know, how do you sit in a country that is more reserved to being
Some
chic?
are a
Yes.
little bit more advanced, but what we saw the same thing happen in the United States. It used to be that a small select group would be into this, but we're seeing it's becoming more and more accepted. School teachers can wear purple hair. You can have different
school teachers
occupations.
never
Yeah, lawyers.
They're
Yeah.
getting younger. They're getting older. It's becoming more and more accepted, just like the tattoo culture became more and more accepted. It used to be prostitutes and sailors, and now everybody's wearing tattoos.
It is a culture shift
Amazing.
all over. I do think that sometimes you'll see, for example, certain areas will gravitate towards more pastel tones
Right.
rather than like deep and bold, vibrant colors. And I think a lot of it is seasonality. So we're coming into fall. So with fall, a lot of times you're going to have more of those coppers, reds, and those rich brunettes and things like that. But honestly, there's not huge differences.
Amazing. Perfect way to finish. It's been lovely to talk to you, and as I say, we're going to organise another interview if
Absolutely.
that's okay.
Dom, we'd appreciate the
It-
opportunity.
It would
Thank you.
it'd be great because I think we could talk over the phone.
You know what?
Yeah.
We're podcast junkies.
Yeah,
Do
we
you
listen to
listen to the
podcasts all the
podcast?
time.
We listen to
Yeah.
podcasts all the
Brilliant.
time. Been on a couple of podcasts. We
Yeah?
love it.
Do you know, we love them too. I love conversation. I think it's great. And I'm just honoured to have you come onto the show.
Thanks again.
And also for the hair show. So thank you.
Thank
you.
you. It's been an honor.
Brilliant. I'm really excited because I bumped into Simon Tuckwell.
Oh,
of,
amazing.
Of Tuckwell Co.
Dom, I've been very excited about this.
Mate, me too. And I feel I've known you for a long time, but never really ever sat down. But I know, God, I think our contact goes back some years.
Yeah, it really does. And I was thinking the same when I bumped into you then. I thought we've kind of known each other, but never really got to sit down and kind of speak like this. So it's really nice. And
It is nice.
It's nice to have a little chill out from the pace of Salon International.
We're just saying again for the listeners, the room we're in at the moment, it's nice and cool, isn't it?
It's lovely. There's
a lot of people about. It's all getting a bit lively in here. So we've got our little corner. So Salon International, what's it mean to you coming here?
For me, Dom, Salon International it's the pinnacle. I've been coming here since I was an apprentice. This year I've actually taken a step back a little bit. I'm only doing a couple of shows this year, so I've got a few bits. I just really want to go around and see, especially being a new salon owner. It's quite nice to see what's going on, what's available, and just kind of see people. It's really nice to catch up with everyone.
And I get that so much because I don't know about you, but Salon International it's a weekend I always look forward to so much. Why?
I think because what you get from it, I think, like we said, it's the networking. There's some people here I don't see all year, but I see them at Salon.
That's a great show.
And it's nice to go, I love what you're doing with your salon. I love the collection. I love just seeing people grow and the whole industry to see that. And then it's just nice to kind of, for me as well, to showcase what I've been up to. So going out on stage and just talking to people and saying, this is what we love as Tuckwell Co.
I mean, you've been heavily involved again on the fellowship stage.
Yeah, so I've done fellowship stage, I've done the Choose Hair stage, this one new talent, because I'm one of the
I
Choose
haven't
Hair
seen that
ambassadors.
stage. I've got to go and find it.
It's brilliant. I had my young graduates and apprentices on this morning, their first ever show.
Oh.
They've never done anything like it before. I was so proud of them. It was like a proud dad moment. I was watching them.
How important has that been for them?
Massively. It's huge. We, especially for me, I wanted to give them as many experiences as I could. So it had to be, I've kind of thrown them in at the deep end. Right, you're going on stage, I'm not doing hair with you, I'm just going to compare. But for me, I'm really trying to push our future stars because they are the future of my business and everyone else's business. So giving them the opportunity to see what they can achieve, they are still buzzing now.
So give everybody a bit of an idea. What's their preparation been like leading up to this?
Nerves,
Yes,
worry, but I think it's because they care.
Yeah.
And I said, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. We all know that one. But they've really worked on it. They were in the salon till stupid o'clock last night because they really want to get it right. And for me, that's really nice to see that they care so much about our brand as well. But for them, this is their platform. And I'm hoping they're out there now going, that's for me. I love that. I want them to kind of experience that and think.
Why is that important?
I think it's important to showcase all aspects of hairdressing. So it's not just behind a chair. Whether you want to be really successful behind a chair, it might be Fashion Week, it could be movies, it could be TV, it could be music, it could be cruise ships. I really want to showcase to all of my team what they can achieve and where they can go. And whether they decide to just be in the salon, that's fantastic, and they'll work at that. But I have to show them that what is available because we've all been shown it. and we all get to see it, and I think it's so important they see it.
Yeah, we are going to do a full podcast with you, Simon. So again, we're saying it on air and so I could ask you so much about the things that you've been involved in, and over the last sort of year or so, you heavily involved with it.
It's been really busy.
Yeah. Why has these opportunities come for you?
I'm not really sure. I think getting a salon was definitely amazing for me because I got to really speak from my heart. For the first time, it was me as a brand, and I've never had that before. And then I've had this kind of team kind of flock to me as well that want the same thing. They just want something, and bring them all to Salon International. I don't really know, Dom, if I'm totally honest.
Can I be honest in meeting you, right? I would like to work in your salon. I'd like you as I wouldn't say boss, because I think that's the wrong word. It's not the fashionable word to say anymore. But as my leader, and I think I would imagine you are. Straight away, what comes over from this, is that your team is so important. The youth, the energy, bringing them through. How have you found being a salon owner?
Terrifying, if I'm totally honest, because I was so unsure. But what I knew was my core. What was me? I can't fake that. I can't lie. I'm really honest with my team. They know what I expect, but also what I'm trying to achieve. I'm really honest with them. Yeah. But we've had stuff that's worked, we've had stuff that has failed, but I'm honest and say, look, this isn't working, scrap that, let's try something else. And I always remember something that I saw ages ago it was like on an Instagram feed, and it said, build a team so strong they don't know who the boss is. And I think I loved that.
Lovely.
Because even though my logo is a big giant hairy bearded face,
yeah.
I still want to walk around. I still work in a salon 5 days a week. I'm still there from the morning till the night as much as I can. And that's just the name. The team are Tuckwell Co. I'm just there as the person who puts it all together, pays bills and tries to keep them together. But they are brilliant. I would be nowhere without my team. Yeah. So I applaud them whenever I get the chance.
So if we were sort of just going to take away some takeaway points from our small conversation today with you of Salon International and your team, why should everybody come? Why should people get involved in stage work, Simon? And how can they get about being involved?
For me, definitely, it's putting yourself out your comfort zone, trialling something. Come and see what people are up to. Don't just kind of we've got social media for that, but there's nothing like going to a stage and seeing something up close. I was just watching a couple of the guys on the fellowship stage. I was blown away by just seeing it and understanding their voice and understanding why they're doing it. That, for me, for a team, would be incredible. So you have to come and then put yourself forward for things. Try out little things. Do smaller stages. Build up. Get involved with the fellowship, with Choose Hair. Just throw yourself into it, because I guarantee you'll love it.
And I always think that, and again, it's something we talk about a lot in interviews, that actually getting involved in all these things, it may not be the big earner, the money bucker, but it just makes hairdressing really enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. I've invested a lot personally into shows for Salon International because I learned so much. If I was to do a course or something like that, I want to make sure I've got the right models. It's such a personal investment, but it's 100% worth it. And then you never beat that feeling of walking off stage, and I can't explain it, but that feeling that you get, you're nervous before you go on, but you come off and you
go... Do you get nervous?
All the time. Still,
that's a good thing.
I was nervous before we sat down here, even though we're in a nice room. And
I get it completely.
You have to have those nerves. If you didn't have nerves, something's wrong.
Yeah,
you have to have nerves because you care.
And I think that's really important for people to understand, is that is really, really important. How do you deal with it?
Just utilise them. Know you're going to be nervous. I've done hundreds of shows and I still get that same feeling, but I kind of harness it and use it as a tailwind. Use that to push me, because I know that I've prepped. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to make anything up. I'm just talking from the heart.
And if you are, we've all been in those situations. You just lose your thread a little bit, or you lose your direction a touch. Is there any tips that you would give on pulling that in? You would say to your team, look, don't worry if things that aren't working out as they should be.
My biggest tip for me, look at your model.
Right.
Because if you're not trying to make anything up, if you've been inspired by that and you've done that look, if you look at your model, it will make you remember and you go, oh, that's where I was. But be honest, I totally forgot what that was called. People on the audience are on your side. They want you to do well.
Mega.
But they're also human. So if you go, I completely forgot what the product was I used. I forgot where I was. What was I saying? Things like that people will warm to because you're not robotic.
People don't mind.
People don't mind.
Yeah, I had that once myself. I was on stage, I lost my thread completely, but you pull it in from somewhere and people are with you and actually take a glass of water and have a sip and, hey, let's go back. Doesn't matter.
And breathe. That's definitely the biggest one I remember.
You know, Simon, what an absolute delight to talk to you. I
Oh,
love
thank
your
you,
energy,
Dom.
mate.
Thank
I do.
you. I love
think
being on.
I think you've got a great energy, and we are going to bring you on, and we're going to get to know you in full. And maybe we were just talking before coming on to the show about maybe coming to your salon, and maybe
I'd love to. I'd love to show you around.
That'd be great.
Incredible.
Bring the
Thank you
headset
for
out.
having me.
Thank you, and it's been very best of luck, and well done on everything you're doing. And I think you're doing some great things, mate.
Thank you.
We have just pulled in to the studio. Chris Williams, international colour director of Rush.
Hiya.
Hey, mate, we're just doing a little bit of a handshake going on
Fair
here, so
enough.
for the listeners. Really pleased to have you come into the studio, Chris. We've just been wandering around and we saw you.
Yep.
So, first day, Salon International.
Thursday, yeah.
What's it feel like?
Thursday's always a bit daunting, isn't it? You know, like,
It is.
it feels like a lot of hard work first day. You get in early, setting everything up, checking what's going on, finding my feet.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything as well today, which is good.
Is that nice?
Well, for me, it's nice. Every year I like to have one day when I can wander around, see what's going on, not have to be, this stage here, that stage there, that one over there at that time, and you're constantly clock watching.
Oh, all the time. And we just went past your stage, so why is it important for you to be here?
I mean, I think it's important for everyone to be here. It's the industry event. People come from all over the world for Salon International, as I'm sure everyone knows, So you've just got to be, you've got to be seen, and a brand our size, we're always sort of looking to sort of press the message, make sure the industry's aware of us. We employ 1,000 hairstylists in the UK, so we're always sort of on a recruitment drive to some degree. Looking
Is that
after
an issue that you as big as you guys are? Because we hear it all the time, don't we, in the industry where recruitment, getting stylists. I mean, is it still a challenge?
Yeah, of course it is. I think actually now, to some degree, more than it has been in the past, because I don't think we've got the same. I'm sure everyone's got the same problems with assistants. Finding that getting good assistants is becoming increasingly difficult. So we're not getting the homegrown stylist coming through as much. Like in the past, we got a salon up and running. First 2 years, recruitment was a problem. Then it started to take care of itself with the assistants hitting the floor and starting to manage the clientele that way. Nowadays, you get 6 assistants when you open a salon, and one of them lasts 6 months.
It's the same problem for everybody. What is Rush doing about that, though? Are you trying to be more inventive in how you're recruiting, what you're doing with your trainees, your apprentices?
Yeah, I mean, we're always moving it forward. We've got, as you can imagine, like quite big HR department that are constantly trying new things and new ideas. We're changing the hours a little bit as well. We're being much more flexible with the working hours. We've got a partnership with LHAA, which is the London Hair Academy, where they do our apprenticeships and we work with them.
Right.
So there's Rush educators and them sort of do the training sort of hand in hand, and I think that's like quite nice for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one of the big things I think it is a lot of the time they come out of school, they're used to very easy hours, things being sort of a little bit hand fed to them now, where it's all sort of like everything's great, nothing's ever wrong, no matter what you do. And they come to a salon and you're open till, like, some of our London towns, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And
it's having to deal with that, isn't it? So I guess we've got to find the solutions, haven't we? I think as Alan Austin said to us in a conversation, he said, we have got to be finding ways to make this more attractive. We can all moan about it and find...
It's not helping it get better, is it?
No, it's not.
It's one of those things.
But one of the things that can make it look attractive and can break up that everyday apprentice life, because you've been there.
Yeah, of course.
I've been there, shampooing. It can become a bit mundane. But they can look at people like you, Chris, international colour creative director. You're probably thinking, really?
Yeah.
But that can really be something big for somebody. What's it like for you being in that position?
That's one of those very hard questions to answer, I think,
That's
to some
why I
degree. I know, because I'm just what I am every day. I suppose, we do get a lot of it. It's a tricky one. I think everyone's aware within a brand the size we are that you get a lot of people look up to you, and we are ambassadors for the brand the whole time, but we do make sure that, like, part of my job, I'm in salon regularly, so at least one day a week I go out, not to my regular salon, but to a different salon. I visit salons, I work with a team in salon, I teach in the NVQ school once a month, so that we are hands-on and we try and be in contact with people, because at the end of the day, what we don't want to ever happen is there to be a discord between us and what's going on, really, because I think if you're not in the salon every single day, it can get hard.
Do you feel now, being the colourist, and I've documented this many times in our interviews, that you were in the background a little while back. You were the cutters, the stylists all came on, didn't they? They'd done their lovely bit, but suddenly now you're the hair heroes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a natural progression to some degree, because. And it was, like, I've worked in the past where it's been like that, and you're not even allowed an opinion on what it should look like. Someone will come and go, I don't like it, and that's it. Change it.
You had a 10-second snippet in the DVDs, didn't you? Here's Chris.
It was all like that. But now it has changed. But I think Andy and I, our international creative director, Andy, we've always worked well together like that. We've respected the fact from the start that he doesn't know much about colour. I don't know as much about what he does, and so that's what makes it kind of work together. Is that synergy, and I think it's coming through in the industry. But it's a natural progression, because ultimately, I hate saying it, but there's a lot of money in colour, and I think
that's important for the listeners and the viewers to really understand. But colour is big business for salons.
But big business for salons, big business for big brands as well. Of
course,
people like.
So it's important then that people like you are at the helm, really, of being creative and keep developing ideas and moving forward with colour, so it keeps it interesting.
Everything's got to change, regularly. I think I'm one of those people, I can't sit still for 10 minutes anyway.
So we're doing well today.
So we're doing all right, yeah. The conversation's going.
Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah. I'm enjoying. I'm there.
So, like, I think the industry's the same. When you learn something 20 years ago, it's not the same as what you're doing now. And I think we just naturally evolve and progress if you're up to date and keep things going. But we're always trying to find looking for that next big thing, sort of something.
What happens? Because I've talked about this before, about trends and where do trends come from, and I don't really know where we're not really creating the trends, are we? Or are we?
That's such a hard one to answer, because obviously I want to say yes.
I want us to say yes, but
I don't know if it's entirely as.
Are we? Because I think it's being in control of trends, because if we're in control of it, we'd really ship it, I guess, towards.
I think the word influencer is such a big one nowadays, and I think we're all influencers on trends, but I don't think any of us create them. I mean, there's companies working in the background years ahead that are predicting what's going to happen colour-wise. People like Pantone, but other trend agencies that are then feeding out to fashion houses, feeding out to everyone. So you get the same trend report from, Homebase to Christian Dior of what's going to be happening colour-wise in 2 or 3 years' time. So it's no coincidence that it flows across.
Why? And I know it's one of those questions, because clients always say it. Well, what's going to be in fashion next? What trend? Your trend prediction. Here we are, October 2019. This time next year, Salon International 2020. Where will we be with trends? It doesn't necessarily have to be colour.
I mean, I think things are. Over the last few years, we have seen a lot of long hair, and you'll agree with that. Long hair has been massive. I am going to say, I think we're going to be starting to see it's gone up to here a little bit coming through. I think we might be going above shoulder.
Yeah.
I think above shoulder and slightly looser.
Can I hear hair cutters starting to get a little bit excited again?
I hope so. Dusting off the scissors,
And you're sitting there rocking, and we're going to have to bring this to an end.
Yeah, of course.
Painfully too quick. But again, as I always keep saying, another episode. Curls, you're there rocking your curls.
Yeah.
Your man curls look brilliant.
Thanks.
Curls, I'm seeing a vibe of curls. Is that something that is starting to work its way in?
I think curls are, because I think people are getting over the idea of working hair too much again. I think it's coming back to natural, going with what you've got, rather than sort of trying to straighten it out, whatever.
And then colour could work around natural colours, or
natural's such a big trend. I think we'll go back to that. Natural's been growing year on year. We get all the facts and figures from all these trend companies and stuff, but it's been going up. I think it's going to be bigger again next year. And after Brexit, and with all the political situation with saving the world and things like that, natural is going to be big for us. It's going to be huge because
that's where it's going.
We're all getting aware of it, aren't we?
Chris, it's been mega chatting to you. Far too quick, because time, we have to. But we would love to bring you back again, actually. I think that'd be, honestly, thank you so much. So listeners, if you would like to find out any more on Chris and Rush, we're going to put some links into the show notes for you as well, for the hair show as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dom. It's been a pleasure.
Here we are again, back in the press office. And I've just found two delightful ladies who I've started to get to know really well. We have Ceilia and Zoe from Concept Hair Magazine. Guys, welcome to the How to Cut It podcast.
Hi, Dom. Thank you for having us. Yes, excited to be here.
You guys are just popping up everywhere. What's going on?
Are we?
Yes,
are we
you
popping
are.
Up everywhere?
You are popping up now. So you're out at all the industry events. So very loosely, Concept Hair Magazine. I want people to know about Concept Hair Magazine. Brief. What is Concept Hair Magazine?
So Concept Hair Magazine is for students. So it's a magazine specifically created to support student and apprentice hairdressers in the industry.
I love it. I think it's so good. I do. I think that is perfect. That was brief enough. So how's it being received, Zoe? Where are we at with it?
It's going down really, really well. The real bedrock of the magazine is we spend a lot of time in colleges and talking to independent training providers and getting feedback. What do you think? You know, what do you like? What don't you like? Let us tweak it. Let's look at it. Because we've got like an idea of what's really powerful, the fact there's learning resources in there, and it's a proper course companion that will help with the course. Yeah. So far, all the feedback we've had has been fantastic, and we're thrilled.
And as we all know, on the Hair Show podcast, we're here at Salon International. Have you been here before we were here last year?
Yes.
Have you got a presence here? Is there a stage? Have you got any kind of involvement here at the events?
We're actually working with the Fellowship very closely. We have a Concept Hair Apprentice of the Year competition launching in January. Absolutely. And the Fellowship is one of our sponsors. So we will be, and we are working with the Fellowship near their stand on Monday to talk about it.
Right, we're not going to leave it just as that. I need to know more about this competition. Absolutely, 100% I do. Now, I saw Ceilia on whatever day it was, Monday of the week, just gone, British Business. Trend Vision.
Oh yes, that's right.
We were there.
Trend Vision.
And I was saying to Ceilia about competitions. As a hairdresser, when I started out, student competitions, I absolutely loved those competitions.
Brilliant.
So you're doing this apprentice competition. How's it working?
Okay, so we have got 6 regional heats for the competition. We are going to be out in the colleges, and there are 8 separate categories. We have got hair up category for 2 levels. We've got a styling category. We've got a colouring competition. We have got a barbering competition, and we have got an avant-garde competition, all split between different levels. And then basically 6 regionals, and then the winners of each of the regionals are going to go through to the grand final, which is being held at our headline sponsors Academy in London, which is at the L'Oréal Professionnel Academy.
Oh my goodness. So which colleges are you going to? Is it a regional and you go to
Yes.
one college in that region, and then it's open to all?
It is, yes.
Do you have to be an apprentice, or can you be a full-time student?
You can be a full-time student or an apprentice. There's no age limit. It's completely free to enter. And we have got colleges, locations set up in the northeast, northwest, the Midlands, Wales, southwest and southeast.
And how is that competition going to work on the day? So you've got those categories.
Yep.
Is it photographic? Is it competition floor?
It's competition floor. It's a live competition. We really believe the bedrock of the competition is confidence. Come along, have a go. Really empowering the next generation of the hair industry to say, this is it, you are the future of the industry, come and show us how great you are. We spend so much time in the colleges and see these amazing students and apprentices and the work that they're doing. We really want to celebrate it.
And what would you say then, Ceilia, to these people coming into this competition? Is there any tips that you would give to them?
Yes, actually, yes, there are. So thank you, Dom.
Go on.
Even though it hadn't been prepared, but I would say that's a great question for me, because I've been running competitions for over 10 years for different disciplines, and this is the first one within the hair industry. But what I see is students coming in at the beginning of the day in the morning for the live competition, and they tend to be quite nervous, which is understandable, especially if they haven't done a competition before. And by the end of the day, they're actually almost wanting to judge the next competition, because they've got so much confidence, and that's what it's about. It's about instilling confidence in these young professionals, which some have very low self-esteem, some of them, not all, but quite a few, and so it's about empowering them and encouraging them to be proud to be a hairdresser or a barber. And I think, you know, the thing is, what I would do is really just shout out to anybody out there who's taking a hairdressing or barbering course, whether you're a student or an apprentice, and especially if you lack confidence, enter the competition. Please enter the competition.
Yeah, because I think you are so spot on. That confidence that it can give you. And I guess it can also break up that everyday being an apprentice, training. It can be good for that. Get outside the confines of your salon environment.
Oh, it's great fun. And you're networking and meeting people who are in the same boat as you.
When did the idea come up about creating this?
It's been a while. It does take some time.
Putting these things together is not easy.
Yes, it does take time. I mean, I think, you know, there's... I would say with the other competitions we do, you know, I suppose it takes, about 10 months or so to piece together the competition. I mean, although we launched the magazine last year, that was about 3 years in the making.
Really? So
yeah.
Why do you need competitions running alongside your magazine? Is it... I'm going to be brutally honest here. Obviously, it's about empowering young hairdressers. Is it a business model?
Well, hopefully, you know.
Should I ask that question?
Yeah, no, you should. But I think certainly, you know, hopefully, you know, we will make some money at some point.
But these things have.
But I think initially, you know, my heart has always been about supporting the next generation.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I mean, the company that you know owns the magazine is called SNG Publishing, and SNG stands for Supporting the Next Generation.
There we go. I now know that.
Did you not know?
I didn't know that.
Well,
no.
there you go.
Thank you.
So it's all about investing in the next generation and supporting them. It's a tough world out there, and if they can enjoy it, and if we can encourage them, and not to lose them by, you know, them dropping out of courses and things like that, but to give them everything they need to equip them, because some of the course books are quite daunting. You know, they're quite thick textbooks, some of them, and they want to do hair. You know, they want to work with their hands. So,
what's your take on the industry, Zoe, and what you've seen it? Because it'd be fair to say you guys, with the magazine, a year and a half or so?
Yeah, new kids on the block.
You are quite new kids on the block. What's your perception of the industry? What you're seeing?
We talk about this a lot, don't we? Because our other publications, we plumbing, electrical, hairdressing, and everyone goes, hairdressing? You know, it's such a fantastic industry. It's so vibrant, and we've had such a warm and positive response to everybody that we've met within the industry, and it's just fantastic. We actually sponsored another competition, an apprentice competition in April, and we went and we watched and we got chatting to lots of the apprentices on the day, and you know, it's so inspiring, the people that you meet, and you think, gosh, wow, you're so creative, you're so professional, and you're doing so well, and I think it really is something to be celebrated. So we're thrilled to be part of the industry.
Is there any parts of the industry that you just think, God, you know, we would do this? Is there any negatives, is what I'm saying?
Well, there probably always, I mean, there will be, won't there, with any industry. With hairdressing, there are just a lot of events to get to. I think that's the only negative, but it's kind of a positive.
It is, yeah.
But I would love to attend all these events, and I encourage students to attend as many events as possible to network, because it's also about who you know as well. And you know, meeting the right people and people you aspire to be like, you know. So I would say certainly the big thing in the hair industry I've noticed that's different to the plumbing and electrical, that I've noticed the most is the amount of support with one another. That, you know, like for example, you know, anyone who's been a hairdresser or is in hair, even if they're retired or they're doing something, you know, they're not in the salon anymore, they still want to invest in the next generation and support and share their tips, and you know, it's about collaboration. And I hope actually, as a new magazine into the industry, that we will, you know, collaborate as much as possible with other titles and really work together. We definitely don't want to be seen as barging our way in or anything like that. From my point of view, we want to support as much as possible. So, yeah.
And I think you are doing that, and I think you probably get a good idea that I am a big fan of Concept Hair Magazine, because I believe in youth as well, in the what you're doing. I think there was such a place for it. So thank you for doing that, and I think also doing these competitions. I think competitions just mega. So, look, brilliant. In terms of finding out more about the magazines, I'll put some links in the show notes.
Fantastic.
On the hair show as well.
Brilliant.
So if you want to find out, if they want to get any more involved with the competition,
it's all on our website. It's all in the magazine.
Give us a quick shout on that website.
Okay, so it's concepthairmag.co.uk.
And social media, Instagram?
It's Concept Mag.
We'll go with that. If it's any different, I'll correct it.
It's Concept Hair Mag.
It is Concept Hair Mag.
Yeah, listeners, I just want to make it's so lovely, because honestly, we're grabbing them as I sort of see. We're going around the floor.
Our digital editor won't be very happy with us.
We're going to be fired on Monday.
You'll be in trouble. So thank you so much
for
today. It's been really lovely.
Thanks, Dom.
And Dom, we do hope you're going to come along to the competition.
You bet.
Yeah.
I can't keep throwing my support, but I would love to. I'd be delighted.
We'd be thrilled for you to come along and, you know, come and see what you think. And
big time. That's an invite.
Excellent.
And accepted.
Super.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that today as much as I did. It's been an absolute joy to talk to so many incredible names from our industry. I just want to say thank you to each of them taking the time out of what is a proper busy weekend and to come and sit on the couch here and just share their experiences with it. I hope you enjoy it. Please let us know if you did. Just leave us a comment below. And if you're loving the show, come on, subscribe. We've got so many more great things coming your way. So until next time, peace, love and smiles all the way. Goodbye.